are watching the 2020 PIA Awards for Planning Excellence, Tasmania.
Hi, I'm Heidi Goers, and I would like to welcome you to the 2020 Tasmanian Awards for Planning Excellence. I'd like to begin this evening's events by acknowledging the traditional owners and custodians of the land. I'm joining you tonight from the Palawa Nation. I would also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands from which you've joined us and any people with Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander heritage joining us tonight. I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and the elders from other communities who may be joining us this evening. PIA celebrates the ongoing culture and deep connection to the land and waters. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our members, fellows, life fellows and honorary fellows joining us this evening. Tonight, I'm very excited to present the 2020 awards. The panel of judges was conformed by Rob Nolan, Ian Jones and myself. We carefully considered each nomination against the criteria of the categories they were nominated in. I take this opportunity to thank Rob and Ian for their work and assistance with helping me judge the awards this year. Now I would like to introduce Mick Purvis, the PIA Tasmanian President, who will say a few opening words.
Hi, I'm Mick Purvis, Tas Division President at the Planning Institute of Australia. Tonight is an opportunity to do something that we as planners don't get to do that much. We get to celebrate the achievements of our colleagues. To quote our CEO, leadership in the face of adversity is something to be acknowledged and applauded. 2020 has certainly been a difficult year, but positive things have come from the resilience and tenacity that planners require. This event is an example, the first year we've had annual awards, and it's the first time they've been online. It seems we now live in a time where, in addition to all of the normal work that we do as planners with everyday operations and planning reform, we're planning and dealing with natural disasters on an increasing basis. Add to that, the bat kiss took pandemics from the abstract to something that's affected all of us every day. But tonight is about the Planning Institute of Australia Tasmanian Awards for Planning Excellence in 2020. This year, Tasmania punched above its weight at the National Awards. Tasmanians won in the Outstanding Student Project and the Planning Champion categories. Congratulations to Bun Fu Yu and to the team at Planning Matters Alliance. In addition, Lee Woolley and Toby Woolley also received a commendation for the best planning ideas for a large project. The winners from each state go to the National Awards the following year. So it will be interesting to see how the winners from tonight's event go at next year's National Awards. I would like to thank all of you who nominated projects and individuals for tonight's event. The awards process is not an easy job, so on behalf of all of you, I would also like to thank the awards convener, Heidi Goers, and the judging panel for making tonight happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mick, for your opening words. And now, with much anticipation, I would like to commence the 2020 PIA Tasmania Awards for Planning Excellence.
Improving planning processes and practices. This award recognises the achievements of planners, planning authorities and development entities in translating planning policy into improved processes and practices in the workplace and on the ground. And the nominations are Connected Hobart Smart City Framework and Action Plan, City of Hobart; Statutory Planners Reference Group, members of Statutory Planners Reference Group, Southern Tasmania Local Government Planners. And the award goes to Connected Hobart Smart City Framework and Action Plan, City of Hobart. The City of Hobart's program, Connected Hobart, is a place-based program for smart cities transformation with a vision to combine human ingenuity and technological innovation with an emphasis on enriching the quality of life for all persons living, visiting or working in Hobart. The Connected Hobart Framework goal is to be the most economically, environmentally and socially connected capital city community in Australia by 2030. The approach is unique amongst smart city strategies, providing a long-term position and action plan to achieve its stated goal, taking a cohesive and coordinated approach. The program defines what a connected smart city means for Hobart, but moves beyond the definition to identify realisable projects, with the focus being away from simply integrating the newest and latest available technologies. The latter is seen to be critical in preserving the local context and attributes that reflect Hobart's essence. The detailed action plan is the bridging document between strategy and on-the-ground outcomes. The action plan enables integration of technologies, forever working to improve efficiencies and expanded opportunities for data sharing, collaboration and responsive delivery. The program's documentation describes the many benefits that lie across local government and other organisations. The program's principles are transferable to other organisations responsible for delivering diverse activities through the use of existing and emerging technologies. The program also demonstrates a resilient model and has provided continuity of services and redeployment in response to COVID. Connected Hobart is a precursor to and formed the basis for adopting the Hobart City Deal Smart City program. It is an exemplary example of taking planning policy and strategy into practice.
Hi, I'm Peter Carr.
I'm Marissa MacArthur.
And we'd just like to say thanks on behalf of all the staff here at Hobart that work so tirelessly on the development of our Connected Hobart Smart City strategy.
Thank you to the Planning Institute of Australia Tasmania Division for honouring us and everyone who contributed to creating Connected Hobart with this award.
Outstanding Student Project. This award recognises outstanding planning work by a tertiary student. It is awarded for a substantial project, report, book, thesis, article, or piece of research which makes a significant contribution to planning and development outcomes. And the award goes to From Activism to Collaborative City Making, Parking Day, as a case study in tactical urbanism, Mary McNeil. Mary's research examines the role of tactical urbanism and the opportunity this provides for effective collaboration and building community capacity to co-design urban futures with local government decision makers. The work explores tactical urbanism, an area of research and application not readily found in the Australian context, and no known research has been undertaken in Tasmania. The research examined the evolution of Parking Day from humble beginnings in San Francisco in 2005 to integrate tactical urbanism on a broader scale in multiple jurisdictions worldwide. The thesis explores tactical urbanism as a tool of urban transformation, using the case study of Parking Day. The case study examines the temporary interventions in the urban realm and has demonstrated an example of citizen-led tactical urbanism resulting in positive localised impacts. The body of work is considered multifaceted and comprehensive, undertaking an in-depth literature review and extensive interviews and public engagement. The thesis takes the reader on a journey, making a significant contribution in developing the understanding and thinking of tactical urbanism and its application in the Tasmanian and Australian context. The research is to an exceptional standard and is highly relevant. It also provides for application and transferability to situations where direct intervention in the urban environment is proposed for planning gain.
I'm Mary McNeil. I'm really honoured to be awarded for my Master's Research Thesis From Activism to Collaborative City Making, undertaken at UTAS. Thank you to Emma Farrow and to all the professionals who took part in the research. Thank you.
Young Planner of the Year. This award seeks out and acclaims a planner early in their career who represents balanced qualities in advocating for emerging planning professionals as well as high-quality planning outcomes in the workplace. The individual shows strong promise and emerging capabilities in leadership, planning practice, innovation, enterprise, and/or thinking. And the Young Planner of the Year award goes to Andrew Holmes. Andrew Holmes is a young planner based in Hobart. Andrew's first tertiary qualification is engineering, followed by his Master of Planning from UTAS in 2019. During and post-planning qualification, Andrew was seconded in a council planning department to work on permit assessments, followed by strategic planning work for a consultancy. In 2018, Andrew wrote the successful grant application from Healthy Tasmania to analyse walkability for Clarence City Council and wrote the final report in 2020. Andrew's work choices show a clear progression to gaining skills and experience in the planning profession. However, adding to Andrew's acquisition of planning skills and demonstrating qualities of innovation, strategic thinking, and capacity for problem solving is his motivation to advocate for change in planning practice outside the workplace environment. This quest has included advocating for a different approach to the car parking standards in the Tasmanian state planning provisions based on livability and health outcomes, and making a submission and appearing before the Tasmanian Legislative Council inquiry into Hobart traffic congestion. Andrew contributes to PIA as Secretariat for the Tasmanian Young Planners Committee and assisted with organising the 2020 Parking Day. Andrew serves on the PIA Tasmania Policy and Advocacy Committee and has contributed articles to Planning News. He pursues a strong relationship with various planning causes, including the UN Sustainable Development Goals Tasmania Collaborative, by coordinating a group of built environment professionals and as a member of Planners Declare. Along the way, Andrew is involved with the Institute of Public Works Engineers Australasia. Andrew has demonstrated his capacity to immerse himself in planning and shows great commitment to the profession as an advocate and role model for emerging professionals in planning and other built environment disciplines.
Hey, I'm Andrew Holmes. Thanks for awarding me the Tasmanian Young Planner of the Year in recognition of my role as Secretary of TYP and for my contribution to the great profession. Thank you.
Best Planning Ideas Small Project. Best Planning Ideas Small Project denotes a project that has a site or local place neighbourhood benefit. It is awarded for planning documents, programs, policies or projects that advance current planning practice within a localised setting. And the nominations are Boat Harbour Beach Plan, ERA Planning and Environment, Cumulus Studio, NOA Group, Tranmere Rokeby Peninsula Structure Plan, Niche Planning Studio and Intura, Treasury Complex and Public Buildings, Hobart CMP, Purcell, ERA Planning. And the award goes to Treasury Complex and Public Buildings, Hobart CMP, Purcell, ERA Planning. The Treasury Complex and Public Buildings are described as a prominent collection of civic buildings which have been the centre of Tasmania's judicial, political and administrative life from 1824. The 8 individual buildings forming the complex reflect the evolution of the site and their important role in the governance of Tasmania. The significance of the complex is clearly social and cultural, and the physical form of the buildings, as centred on the intersection of Murray and Macquarie Streets in central Hobart, present one of the most significant intact collections of colonial buildings in Australia. The state government has indicated an intention to divest of the complex, hence the importance of the CMP to conserving the fabric and the prospect for compatible and sensitive adaptive reuse. Outside of the CMP, the community is sensitive about the intended selling of significant public buildings and their reuse to commercial activities. The community sensitivity adds to the importance of the CMP to guide the future of the complex. The CMP involved public processes that appear to have addressed community concerns. The process and documentation is transferable to and can serve as a model for other conservation plans for heritage buildings. The CMP process and documentation demonstrate innovation through providing practical advice about managing change for the reuse of the buildings that respects the defined conservation philosophy, being that the retention and enhancement of the site's heritage values remain a core principle. The extent of the investigative work provides documented evidence on the physical form and the social and cultural aspects of the buildings, and within these contexts, guidance on the adaptive reuse based on the heritage values.
The Treasury Complex and Public Buildings Conservation Management Plan was a really rewarding collaboration between Purcell and ERA Planning and Environment. Together with our client, we're confident that we've delivered a management framework that will ensure the values of the place into the future, protect those for the people of Hobart and the wider surrounds. With many thanks.
Best Planning Ideas Large Project. This award denotes a project that has town or city, regional, statewide, national, or cross-jurisdiction benefit. It is awarded for planning documents, schemes, policies or projects that advance current planning practice with broad application. And the award goes to the Wilkinson's Point Plan, Irene Inc. Planning and Urban Design, Vendor Katsoulides Architects, and Oculus Landscape Architecture Urban Design. The Wilkinson's Point Precinct is undoubtedly one of the most prominent and complex sites in metropolitan Hobart. Shaped by its estuarine setting, industrial past, and prevailing winds, it creates a challenging environment on which to create a sustainable vision for the site. This project, by Irene Inc., Vendor Katsoulides Architects, and Oculus, has produced a master plan that responds to both the challenges of history, scale, and dominant characteristics of the site. At its centre is a creative solution that is underpinned by evidence-based planning to create a master plan that is not only respectful of the existing built form, but delivers a mix of uses and opportunities that are cognizant of underlying local government strategies and community expectations. The diversity of uses will allow for an economically sustainable offering of community activities and sporting facilities. Participation in the preparation of the master plan involved traditional owners through to 2 levels of government and needed to address the public interest in the sale of public land and built assets. To provide for a home base for a Tasmanian NBL team, the master plan identifies a range of community, sporting and recreational facilities, balanced with the commercial, retail and social entertainment facilities. In doing so, the master plan creates a basis for both the sustainable ongoing management and future investment of the site. To deal with permit requirements for approvals for use and development, the principles of the master plan were inserted as a specific area plan in the Glenorchy Interim Planning Scheme.
Thank you on behalf of Vendor Katsoulides Architects, Oculus Studio and Irene Inc. Planning and Urban Design. The Wilkinson's Point Precinct Master Plan was developed to facilitate a vision that was held by Larry Kesselman to bring the NBL to Tasmania, and to do so in a viable and vibrant multi-purpose mixed-use precinct. We'd like to thank the Planning Institute of Australia for hosting these awards, to the awards jury for the recognition of this award, and of course to our client Larry Kesselman and the team at Larry Kesselman Group. Thank you.
And now for a special announcement, I would like to hand over to Irene Duckett.
Hi, my name's Irene Duckett and I'm the principal of Irene Inc. Planning. Over a long period of time, I've had the great pleasure of being supported and watching professionally the work of Jackie Blowfield. Jackie's provided planning advice and guidance to a large range of client groups, strong leadership and mentoring for fellow planners, both within our organisation and within PIA in general. Jackie's been an active and valued committee member from 2011 to 2019. During this time, she's carried out the role of editor of Tas Planner from 2010 to 2016, was instrumental in the transition to digital platforms, including Tas Planning News, tirelessly seeking out articles, taking photos, documenting events, and spending many evenings and weekends laying out and desktop publishing. As a committee member, Jackie was often the first person to put up her hand to undertake or initiate policy development or discussion. Jackie's knowledge of our constitution was also very helpful when the call was made to, for example, do we have a quorum? Jackie always knew the answer. She's not one to draw focus on her contributions, preferring to influence and provide guidance quietly and without a fuss in the background. She continues to impress with her knowledge and strength of conviction in upholding core planning values and ethics. Jackie has actively participated in PIA events, attending every Tasmanian planning conference, many national conferences, often with camera in hand to capture moments to share on various media. Jackie's made great contribution to PIA in Tasmania as a committee member, vice president, policy and advocacy committee chair, and by assisting in the creation and holding of events. In the planning career spanning 22 years, Jackie's worked in both local government and private practice. Working at Clarence Council, Jackie progressed to the leadership role of Acting Manager of Integrated Assessment, with responsibilities in coordinating the Integrated Assessment team, carrying out duties under delegation from Council, and attendance at Council meetings and corporate executive. Jackie is a highly respected, loved and valued planner. And it gives me great pleasure to present this elevation of fellow to Jackie.
Congratulations to you, Jackie, and thank you for your service to the planning profession and the Institute. I also have the pleasure tonight of recognising another person for their outstanding contribution to planning in Tasmania. It gives me great pleasure to announce an honorary fellowship has been awarded to Graham Lynch. Among his many contributions and achievements, Graham has been the CEO of the Heart Foundation in Tasmania since 2008, and this nomination acknowledges his strong conviction that improved health outcomes can be achieved through land use planning and the planning system. Graham has championed the case for the link between health and the built environment in all policies by prosecuting this case through a range of bodies to advocate for healthy outcomes. Under Graham, the Heart Foundation Tasmania had health and wellbeing included into the objectives for the planning process by amendment of the Land Use Planning and Approvals Act 1993, and also by making a comprehensive representation on the draft state planning provisions for the Tasmanian planning scheme. To put the case for land use planning and state policy reform, Graham was instrumental in having the Heart Foundation Tasmania employ planners, town planners at that. Graham oversaw the Heart Foundation work on developing Healthy by Design, a guide to planning and designing environments for active living in Tasmania. These guidelines were developed in partnership with the Tasmanian Division of the Planning Institute. At the national level, Graham has been strong to advocate for Healthy Active by Design and a blueprint for an active Australia. In 2019, Graham was co-signatory to the Tasmanian Statement, Working Together for the Health and Wellbeing of Tasmanians, which was co-signed by Will Hodgman MP, Premier of Tasmania, and the Honourable Jeremy Rockcliffe MP, Minister for Mental Health and Wellbeing. Graham's advocacy for health and the built environment is entirely consistent with PIA's position statement, Planning for Healthy Communities, and he is a worthy recipient of this honorary fellowship. Congratulations, Graham.
We have now reached the conclusion of the PIA Tasmania Awards 2020. I would like to thank again Rob Nolan and Ian Jones for being on the judging panel with me. I also would like to extend a special thank you to the PIA Tasmanian team, Carmel McCormack, Diego Pappalardo, Lydia Lovelock, Darcy McLaughlin, and Phoebe Crockett. And with that, I close the awards ceremony for 2020. Thank you for watching and good night.
You are watching the 2020 PIA Awards for Planning Excellence, Tasmania.